No one's stuff can be left lying around? You got it. This happened a few years ago now when I, 22F, was 18 and still living at home. My mother, then 65, was and still is a raging narcissist and a control freak. In a way I can't RLLY blame her since she grew up practically looking after her siblings, but it's something that's slowly destroyed our family life. I was diagnosed with high-level ADHD when I was 19, which explained a lot of difficulties growing up. But this is the backstory to why my mother is terrified of me touching her stuff. My mother had this hatred for things not being done her way, to the point she would go through her friends' family's trash to rip up post and stuff with names on. BCZPPL will find her address if they look through the bins. If they're looking through my bins, they're already outside my house, so I don't think they need my address TBF. But she would move everything of mine, put it away in places it doesn't live, shove it in bags, goes into my room to try to tidy it away, and I lose things, break things, don't have enough clothes out, etc. It was endless and I was growing angry. My father is an enabler, so would always defend her even when he knew she was wrong. What tipped the scale was a seemingly normal day. When I cook, I usually clean a little as I go along but do the bulk after I finished eating. Every single time, without fail. As soon as my butt touched the chair to eat, she'd be in the kitchen screaming about how it's so dirty and no one does anything in this house, and then there's be smashing pot sounds and noises of anger. We've all gotten used to just tuning her out mostly. When I take a shower, I always dry myself, head up to my room telling them the bathroom's free but not clean, and then get into new clothes. Quickly blow dry my hair and moisturize my face and head down to clean up the bathroom. Screaming, shouting, compares herself to a slave. No one respects her house, etc., etc. Every single time. She wouldn't even need the bathroom. She'd just enter it to complain. This time, however, she brandished my shampoo bottle in my face and screamed about how if I didn't put things away fast enough, I was in my room maybe 10 minutes. Then she'd kick me out. BCZ. She was fed up of tidying everyone else's stuff up. No one asked her to. After she's been on her feet all day at work. She logs books on a computer, plus she refused to retire. Cue malicious compliance. For 4 long weeks I put everything away. And I mean everything. Everyone else's stuff got put away or put on their placemat. I moved things around to their proper places. I put things away when she was mid-using it. Work stuff she left lying around got put back into her pile of papers. Her clothes dumped outside her room. Blankets folded and stacked when she went to the toilet. Spices and foods back on the top shelves. My mother is around 5 feet 2, so struggles to reach things sometimes, whereas I'm 5 feet 9, so can easily pop things out of her reach. Where they're stored. Bottles, jewelry, glasses, pots, pans. Everything was put away. For some reason I loved it. It seemed to scratch an itch in my brain whenever I got bursts of motivation to do it. It took a month before she basically told me to F off doing it. She'd lost multiple things, kept having to call for help reaching stuff, sort through her papers and ask me where I moved things. All I said to her was, "Do you see how annoying it is now?" and closed my bedroom door. I moved everything back the next day when she was at work, and for maybe 1 blissful week she stopped nagging. Didn't last long, but I always remember it with a smile. Did you go back to your MC each time she forgot and started ranting again? This would reinforce the lesson being taught. Drive it into long-term memory. Sounds like my mom. What with the whole screaming and comparing herself to a slave and saying nobody else does anything. Do these guys all read the same handbook or something? It eventually worked against her when Dad divorced her and we decided to go with him. It made perfect sense. because she was always telling us how awful and lazy and stupid and filthy and disgusting and dirty we were and how we never did anything, and she was so rushed off her feet picking up after us and never receiving help that she would die of exhaustion and it would be all our fault. So when I made my decision, I thought, well, my presence clearly impacts her quality of life, and if I'm not there she'll have less work to do. So this is what's best for both of us. Can't win face with rolling eyes. She wanted me to go with her after all, despite how terrible and awful and lazy and filthy and dirty and disgusting and stupid I apparently was. Why she'd want me is beyond me, given that she made sure I knew I was worth less than dirt on her shoe. But, well, since I'd spent a lifetime being told how much of a burden I was and how much I made her suffer by being a kid doing kid things, I figured I'd listen to her and remove myself, since I was such a bad person. But no, she actually wanted me, and all the stuff I described apparently didn't happen. So how did she try to make me change my mind? By ramping that up to 11 and treating me the worst I've ever been treated. What a genius. This woman, face with rolling eyes, denying the bad things ever happened and repeating them because you're mad that you were accused of them? What a lunatic. How did you get the same mother as me? When I was 7, if I messed up my cupboard, one folded thing slightly out of alignment and everything would be flung out of the cupboard onto the floor. I was threatened with hidings until I packed it away. Then I just got bolshy and walked all over it and refused to put it back. Those hidings were worth every sting. Stubborn as a mule and no tears. But now I can't let anyone clean for me, because it has to be done, right? For some reason I loved it. It seemed to scratch an itch in my brain whenever I got bursts of motivation to do it. Let the spite flow through you. My folks used to have a similar annoying habit. They would ask me as I'm leaving for uni, as in actually half out the door, to clean my room, which I obviously couldn't do. Then I'd get home and I've had to clean your room because you wouldn't. As if someone had a gun to their head or something. My dad's was with washing my car. A massive waste of time and energy in my opinion. But the same, I had to wash your car because you won't. I was grateful they did, but it was weird how they made out it was a life or death thing, that they were done then and there. The mid-use part is my favorite. The craziest part of all of this, knowing your mom had you when she was 47. Wow. I really hope you have been able to move out. Sounds like she may have mental health issues. Thoughtful response, nice illustration. I am glad you found some peace from it, too. Do we have the same mom? Oh wow. You have both ADHD and OCD tendencies in one brain. That's like being both a Hatfield and a McCoy at the same time. Yikes. Maybe they can cancel each other out. Dude, I want to suggest this entire thread to a family member right now. This is badass. Well played. NTA. But you do know that ADHD is genetic. Her fussing over papers with personal info being put in the bin is legit. Never heard of stolen identity? I use a shredder for parts where my name, address or registration numbers are printed. That does not go in the bin. Imagine wanting people to clean up after themselves. The horror. Not your house, not your rules. She had you at 47? Damn. When I, 22F, was 18 and still living at home, my mother, then 65. There seemed to be an awful lot of Redditors who were born to women 45 years old. IDK if she's a narcissist based on this, but she's certainly neurodivergent in some manner.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.